is that the husband is the one who's the initiator, the carrier out, the covering, the authority, the power of the covenant. That's why we first started marriage, and we got the definition of marriage. We said it's masculine. It's about the man initiated marriage. It's based upon the man. Here the woman, if her husband is unsaved, she still has total and complete responsibility to him. But she can't covenant cover him. She can only sanctify him spiritually. And that's all. She cannot do that. She's responsible to serve him, to honor him, and to love him. Just as always. Even though he's not saved, she's still responsible to serve, honor, and to love him. If you drew his bath before, you keep drawing his bath now. If you fixed him dinner every day before, you keep fixing him dinner now. Doesn't make a difference because you got saved. And this is what Paul was dealing with. The power of this. Because you can convert him if you live a life. We're not going there yet, but in 1 Peter we're going to go there. About your life. Can change him. And that's what he piggybacked on. You got to live as a woman because you have a different position within the marriage. Your position is to honor him because he's the head. Yeah, he is an unsaved. He's not the head of my... Okay. Take him out of position. See what happens. You could be as saved and sanctified, Holy Ghost, filled, fire baptized as you want to be. Take him out of position. See what happens. Don't honor him. Don't love him. Don't serve him. See what happens. Watch and see if you don't open up Pandora's box and Satan will beat you upside your head. I don't care how connected with Christ. You can't go past this. That's your head. Still, yes, you have a relationship with Christ, but you still got to honor your head. And if you don't, you're asking for trouble. Because you're annulling the covenant. You and he are in covenant. As unsaved as he is, you and he are still in covenant. So you can't bypass it. You have a responsibility to him. Even in covenant. Even though he's unsaved. So that's why Paul dealt with that first. Because that's the more difficult one. Because the easy one is for the man. Because the man is saved and the wife is. That's easy. Because he's already the spiritual authority of the house. Already the spiritual authority of the house. So it's easy for him to live a life before her and greater influence that he'll have in bringing her to Christ. Greater influence. Because of his already position within the covenant. Because he's already there to cover her. In the covenant and spiritual. So he's got a dual role now. So now he's got a greater influence to bring her in. She's got a harder job to bring him in. Much harder job. For her to get him than for him to get her. Any questions? Comments besides Don? Try to give me a chunk, no?
A lot of people over the years, well, they just crazy. They try to tell you, well, she's not saved, but you say, you can, and I'm like, I'm not going through that. They try to get you to put you up with someone that ain't saved. And they try to use the scripture to justify why you should do it, because you can change it. And I know what the word says you can't, but I've seen some friends of mine fall into this because they don't know the word. And they fall into it, and that girl just eat them alive all day every day. And it's like, wow. When you don't know the word, you'll fall into sounds so good, and it sounds like you
Well,
can do
it's
it
enticing.
themselves, that tell you to do it, don't even do that themselves, they won't even do it. But they'll tell you to.
It's enticing, but it's not true.
I just wanted to bring out like the statistics of like the woman versus the man. Like, you know, if the woman is unsaved, but if the woman is saved and the husband is unsaved, it's like a 15% chance of her converting him. Versus if he's saved and she's not, the rest of the family isn't. It's like an 85% chance.
You got it.
You know?
You got it.
So it's showing the big,
Yeah, it's big.
huge.
It's huge difference. Because he has a greater influence already in his place in the covenant. Versus she doesn't. So she can't cover him in covenant. So because she can't, only thing she can try and do is sanctify him spiritually by living a life before him, by presenting a life before him, but she can't carry out the covenant. He's in a position, because he's saved, to carry out the covenant, cover her spiritually, and see, but she's got a whole lot more to do. She got some work ahead of her in order to bring him into a relationship versus what he's got to do to bring her into a relationship because of the authority already given, because of the status that's already there. So that's about it. 85-15. That would be about right, you know, because of that. Yes, ma'am.
No, I was just going to say, but I think because from A to C, that's one of the reasons why it is so hard to do that, because once they get saved, if you're not in a church where the pastor is really teaching about marriage and you know, they're going to think that I don't have to do this because he's not saved. But it is, if you are truly saved and you know the word, you know, study your word and you see what it is, because a lot of people think that they don't have to study on marriage. They think that they know about marriage. But it's a lot of things that, you know, that you don't know about marriage, because we wasn't, you know, like I say my era or whatever, a lot of we wasn't taught because our parents didn't talk to us. They didn't tell us. So we went by what we thought that was going on with them. And then when we got up, we found out a lot what we thought was going on. That wasn't even half of the story with them. So we don't know. We had to learn and study about marriage, what marriage really is, and not from Dr. Phil. But, you know.
Didn't get it from Oprah?
No. But I'm you know, true marriage and stuff. And so, if you can go by, you know, if you go by what it's supposed to be, regardless of whether that man was saved or not, you still, like you say, you got to serve him, you got to love him, and you got to honor him. And once you do that, I'm not saying every one of them now, but it will be more of them, because if they love you a tiny bit, they are not going to, you know, they will form.
I like that. They love you a tiny bit.
I want to say something on that.
Yes,
Why you
ma'am.
saying that? And another thing too, when you serve, honor, and love, you're going to do what's right, because, see, number one, my thing is I want to please God.
All right.
And if I please God, I'm going to do that.
All right.
You know, I got bigger people to answer to. Yeah, my husband, I honor him, but I have to answer to God. And that's where my mind go, you know, sometimes you don't feel like doing all that, but okay, I go, okay, Lord.
And it's pleasing unto God. But see, you're in a situation that you got a saved husband. See, so that's even better situation now, because you got somebody that's covering you spiritually. You got somebody that's gonna sanctify you spiritually. Now you got somebody you can go back to, and together both of you can go straight to God. You got someone there. Well, this lady here, she don't have that. She don't have a husband that love God. He might love her a little bit.
A tiny bit.